guy's name, though, is Jesse James, and his ex-wife was a porn star. What part of that equation equals good guy?
Now, if Animal Planet is on board, should PETA back off?
Are you kidding? First of all, poor Mike Tyson went from champ of the world to racing pigeons. There should be people for the ethical treatment of Mike Tyson at this point. This poor guy, no one cares for Mike Tyson, the poor guy. It's not like he's not like inviting the pigeons to his hotel room. He's not doing anything bad with the pigeons. He's just hanging out with the pigeons, letting them race.
Comedians, we spoke with 3 of them to get their take on race relations, current events, and whether the presidency of Barack Obama makes for good punchlines.
I will tell you, everyone in our community, when something bad happens, you know, we hold our breath and hope we're not involved. Like when the plane landed safely in January in the Hudson River, I can assure you every Arab in New York was like, please don't let Arabs be involved in this, please don't let Arabs be involved. And they're like, well, it was geese. Like, please don't let Al-Qaeda be training geese. We don't want geese of mass destruction out there. I tell people I like President Obama so much because he represents to me that maybe anyone in America could be president. Maybe there'll be an Arab president, you know, not now, many generations from now. I don't think Americans are ready, but I don't want like an Arab-American president. I want a real Arab president, like open shirt, gold chain, smells like lamb a little bit. He goes out like, hello everybody, how are you? I'm your President Mustafa Mahmoud Abu Saeed al-Masri, but please call me Mike.
Tonight on Nightline, X-ray vision as anger over TSA pat-downs reaches a boiling point as scans are posted online.
Before the scanners, flyers were upset about taking off their shoes and leaving liquids behind. So how to balance security and privacy?
You gotta man up.
Comedian Dean Obeidallah wrote an article on the subject called "The TSA Wants to See Your T&A."
You know, because you have the option. It's either going to be seen naked or be touched by, it sounds like a drunken frat boy on prom night. I mean, everyone's so afraid they're going to grope you. You have professionally trained people who have to touch you appropriately.
Because we're going back to high alert at the airports. It's going to be pat-downs. You're going to go through the airport security naked. They're going to see you're naked. I mean, for Arabs like me, they're going to be asking questions like, do you have a full-body cashmere sweater under your clothing? We are hairy people.
News media outlets that I was watching, it's all about, should she have walked off, shouldn't she? They forget what he said, which was...
Muslims killed us on 9/11.
Yeah.
Which is, it's so irresponsible. A man like Bill O'Reilly, who's been on TV for a lifetime, let's be honest, I think he knows exactly what he's saying. The idea, you know, if he would have said terrorists killed us on 9/11, that's fine. My family's Muslim. No one called us and said, hey, we're going to attack 9/11. What do you think? We had no poll. And it's odd at this time where we have this hate rhetoric going on to the point I even get hate mail saying, go back to your country. I'm like, I'm from Jersey. You know, I know Jersey's a different country to certain people, but I mean, it's a weird time where people lump Muslims together all the time with Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda's not building a mosque. It's American Muslims building a mosque.
Yes.
Different situation.
Do you believe that the mosque should be built in that particular location?
I think the mosque should be built any place that worshipers want to worship in America, regardless if there were Jews or Christians or Muslims. That's a fundamental right in America. Right now, the mosque where the imam runs is 12 blocks from Ground Zero. It's been there for over 20 years. He's been a preacher there. There's been no record of any problems. In fact, he's worked to fight terrorism. He's worked to build bridges with the Muslim world and America. So this man's a shining example of the kind of person who should be leading a mosque, who should be bringing people and building bridges.
One more story. Prince Charming got engaged with what's her name this week? Is it exciting? Dean Obeidallah, how exciting? Dean, what's her name? The woman what's his name? I don't know. I can't follow this stuff.
He's Prince Harry Potter.
He's William.
And I think it's Harry. William, I think it's Harry Potter.
I think it is Harry Potter.
I think it's great they're getting together, finally. No, I mean, I'll tell you, I've never been excited this much since Sex and the City 2 came out, so this is a great day for me. I'm really thrilled.
Dean Obeidallah, co-executive producer of the annual New York Arab American Comedy Festival, joins Kimberly and me here in our New York studio. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on. Thank you.
Does that make you shy away as a comedian saying, you know what, I'm going to pump the brakes on this joke. I'm not going to go there because I don't want to get this threat or be threatened to be killed or assassinated?
I've never worried about the threat of death for a joke yet. There's no joke that
I've told one that bad.
That's right. I mean, I've told jokes. I've had people like in the audience
really
say
bombs.
stuff. I've had some tough shows. Don't get me wrong. Some people I think wanted to kill me, but no one. But I just performed in the middle. I was just in Saudi Arabia doing jokes. Literally,
you did Muslim jokes in Saudi Arabia.
Well, not Muslim jokes about us. They like. I mean, joke about how much they love cigarette smoke. I went to the gym. There was an ashtray on a treadmill. I mean, people love smoking.
That's awesome.
How Arabs love to talk during the movies. They love to guess the ending, and they also love to tell you what they just saw on the screen. And Arabs
They sound a lot like Puerto Ricans.
I love it, right?
We're just a minority. We're just like any other minority.
Dean Obeidallah, thank you, man. Good luck with your career. Very funny, everybody.
Thanks so much for being with us tonight.
We've been hearing this all week, guys. We've all been asked this question as comedians who talk a little bit about social issues, politics, etc. Where does the comedy end and the political commentating begin? Do we really have to draw rules, or should they be held to the fire? Jon Stewart, Stephen Colbert, and us. Dean?
It's about being funny. If you're being funny, you can say whatever you want. If you're not being funny, you're preaching. Just back to Jon Stewart. Calling the president dude, I thought was endearing. I don't think Obama's a dude. I think he's more like a professor. I think Bush was a dude and Clinton was a player. Those terms would have worked well for those guys. But I think that, honestly, as a comic, that's the line. If I'm telling a joke and they're laughing, and I'm making a political point, that's it. To me, it's the highest form of comedy. It's why I admire people like Jon Stewart and Richard Pryor.
Mark Maron, you have the #1 comedy podcast on iTunes, and yet you've rejected Arab comedians. Do you want to address that with Dean Obeidallah right now?
That's not true. I've had Persian comedians on. I've had a comedian from Pakistan
Not
on,
Arab.
and I'm
Not Arab.
I know that, Dean, but I'm more than willing to reach out as a Jew to you to say, come on my show. Let's bury the hatchet here, Dean. Let's the two of us. We'll sit down. We'll have a comedic summit when I'm in New York, and you'll be on WTF.
You guys are great. Go to WTF.
I reject your truce.
Really, really? Wow. Well, we'll have to.
No, I'm kidding. No, I'm there.
We'll have to figure this out.
That's something Americans never see, the idea of an Arab laughing at themselves. It's so humanizing, and it's something that's one of my passions, to try to get this on American TV so that people in the West can see we have this common humanity.
دين عبيد الله كوميدي أمريكي من أصل فلسطيني ترك المحاماة ليكتب نكتا عن الأمريكيين العرب بعد أحداث الحادي عن آخرين اسمه Arabs Gone Wild أو العرب جنوا.
It's just not as much about President Bush or about the government policy of America. Now it's
لم تعد النكات عن الرئيس بوش والسياسات الأمريكية. هناك تجاوب أفضل الآن معنا. ليس بالضرورة أن يحب الأمريكيون.
Night in and night out, they laugh amazing. They laugh at every joke at the right place. They cheer. Doing shows around the region, so obviously Dubai's struggling a little bit now. I hope things get better. I was there like a year ago. It was still crazy construction. This is when I'm standing there, and the guy goes, "Excuse me, can you move?" I'm like, why? Because we're putting a building here. I'm like, what kind of building? He goes, oceanfront. I'm like, there's no ocean. He goes, come back next week.